Hello and welcome to Verbling. Hi there, I'm Teacher Oakley. Once again, it's time for famous quotes. Today, I am a little bit late in having this class. Today we will be looking at quotes from Martin Luther King, or more accurately, the Reverend Martin Luther King in the United States. Back, well, now it's almost 2 weeks ago, January 18th was Martin Luther King Day. Should have done this class a couple weeks ago, really. But by the time I noticed it and actually planned the class, it was Martin Luther King Day, the day that I actually booked this class and planned it. You'll be happy to know. Anyway, today, famous quotes from Martin Luther King. Hello, Max. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay.
And again, pronunciation of his name, Martin Luther King.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
because
right.
in Russian we say Martin Luther King.
Oh, okay. Martin Luther King, yeah. And that one I'll stick with because he was an American, so yeah.
We don't have th sound and pronounce it like that.
Right. Right. Yeah, I understand.
Hello, Michael.
Thanks, Max.
Hey.
Hello, Matthew, Michael, whomever.
Hi.
You are. Hi.
Okay. Matthew. Call me by Matt. Matt. You can
Matt?
call me by Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Matt.
Most of my American friends who are actually named Matthew, they're all called Matt. For sure.
Yeah. That's like John. That's why I chose this name.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, true. Hello, Bruno, outside the class. Come on in and join us if you want. Hello, Nader. Welcome to the class.
Hello, thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice to see you today.
Nice to see you too. For for you guys or any other people viewing in Verbling, I apologize for missing my class earlier today. I had a class supposedly 3 hours ago, but I was not able to do the class because it would seem there is a new tradition in my city, and that is no electricity from 5 in the morning until about noon. Actually, I got electricity back 10 minutes before this class. And even though I have a laptop with a battery, I was not able to get, even though I have 2 other possible internet connections, I was not able to get any internet connection earlier. So, sorry. I can't say that I'm a big fan of this new tradition. Don't really appreciate it much, but now they're telling me that we are not going to have electricity any Saturday morning here where I am for at least the next month. Oh, hooray. So that means I won't be having classes Saturday mornings my time, I suppose, from now on. Okay. A little news for those of you who will actually attend my classes Saturday morning. They're not going to be happening for a month.
So the first one would be like today, at 1 p.m.?
No, it's actually happened the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks I was able to use an alternate internet provider to get online and do classes. But this week it was just impossible, so it seems to be a 50-50 proposition. Anyway. C'est la vie. Crazy. Let's have no economy Saturday mornings. 0. Shut down everything. Okay. Brilliant. Don't know why they're doing it. Don't know what they're doing. Some kind of maintenance. I have no idea. But anyway, my apologies to those people who might have signed up for the class earlier, but obviously you weren't charged for it because I never opened the class. I was unable. Okay. Carlos, welcome to the class.
Hi, Oakley. Thank you.
All right, Carlos. Carlos, today's class we're going to look at famous quotes from Martin Luther King. Do you know who Martin Luther King was?
Yeah. Yes. He was a black man, American. He was killed, and he was an important politician, no? The figure in the States, and tried for the rights of the black people generally.
Generally, and actually, that's a little bit of it's a little bit not true. First of all, he was a reverend. He was not a politician in any way. He had never held any kind of office whatsoever. But he was a leader in the civil rights movement. Okay. But one thing that's kind of lost, because of course the focus was on the rights of African Americans. In fact, if you delve more into Martin Luther King and the things he actually said and wrote, you will find that he was equally concerned with the civil rights of other people as well. Women, everyone, actually. Women, children, Latin peoples, everybody, white people, everybody should have civil rights. His focus, of course, was African American, because that was the key problem at the time. But really, if you really, as we look at his quotes, you may see this. Really, his focus were rights for everyone. Keep that in mind as we're looking at the quotes. Hi, Alexander. How are you?
Hello, fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. Is there anything else that you know about Martin Luther King?
Not
Or
yet,
Reverend?
but in future I will learn about him.
Well, a little bit today. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, and also welcome to Jabo. Hello, Jabo. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And how about you?
I'm okay. All things considered.
Yeah.
Jabo, do you know anything about Martin Luther King Jr.? Actually, I keep saying his name wrong. His name is Martin
Not
Luther
much,
King
but I
Jr.
know he was a black gentleman, and he raised the voice for a black American, and in that time, the black American was not treated fairly. So he used some kind of violence, non-violence protest for the black people, and he was there to talk, and he's a eloquent, and there to talk and there to protest for the black people, and he's very courageous.
Mm-hmm. His role model in public disobedience to change policies and to change social concepts. His role model, who can guess? Who do you think Martin Luther King's role model was? Who he actually quotes frequently and who he references actually in his speaking? Well, Alexander? Well, I was saying it, I wasn't looking at what you're typing. Coincidence? Anyway, yes, his role model and his approach and many things he said, and he actually referenced Gandhi frequently, Mahatma Gandhi, of course. Not Indira, that's another story. Okay. All right. Max, do you know anything else about Martin Luther King?
Actually not.
Do you know who he was named after?
But I like his quotes.
Yeah.
I've read his quotes yesterday. Some kind of homework.
Oh yeah, a little preparation. Terrific.
Yeah. Yeah.
You named a day after him. in the States?
Sorry?
You have the Martin Luther King Day now.
Yeah, and I fully meant to have Martin Luther King in my famous quotes class in recognition of that day, but unfortunately it snuck up on me. I actually planned this class on Martin Luther King Day, as a matter of fact, coincidentally, because I realized, oh, I forgot to do this. So better late than never. Yes, we actually have a national holiday, Martin Luther King Day. Of course, this holiday is not particularly celebrated other than by a few. It is one of those national holidays where they close the banks and government offices are closed, but it's pretty much it. And then you read a lot of newspaper articles and editorials about Martin Luther King. But right, okay, Matt, do you know anything else about Martin Luther King? Any interesting little facts or anything?
Well, not. So in addition to what was said, I would say that I know only like his starting quote, like starter for a quote. I have a dream. That's all what I know off the top of my head.
Yeah, right. Well, that's something to know because that was an extremely important speech. Civil Rights March, Washington, 1963, and that's how he began the speech. In fact, it's titled everyone knows it as "I Have a Dream" speech. It's basically that speech that is the thing that thrust him into recognition in the United States. That was his big boost into being famous. That's what threw him into the spotlight, so to speak. Yeah, and it's interesting. At the time, you know, there were much more militant organizations for civil disobedience. The Black Panthers, first and foremost, I think, but a number of other ones as well. But Martin Luther King was the peaceful alternative. Not only the civil rights movement in reference to African Americans, but again, he also spoke about the Vietnam War, which was a big problem at that time. The problem of poor people, regardless of race, economic inequality. So, although everyone knows him as civil rights about race, but really he was doing a lot of other things as well, starting organizations to help the economically challenged. There was a lot more to him than people realize at first glance. Welcome to the class, Ali. Hello.
Welcome, sir.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Okay. I'm doing okay. Okay.
Why are you laughing?
Well, it was a rocky start to my day, but I'm one of those things, you know. But I'm okay. I'm okay. Let's. All right. We're gonna take a look at some of his quotes now and talk about them. Let's get started. Okay. All right. Okay, Nader, can you do me a favor and read this first quote?
Can you do me a favor and pass me this first quote?
Can you see the screen share? No?
Yes, I can. Because I read it and couldn't understand it. So, anyway, nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity.
Okay.
Conscientious stupidity.
Very good. Conscientious.
Conscientious.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes, I can explain it. First of all, do you see, or does anyone else see, there is actually Martin Luther King was known for his wonderful quotes and his views. He wasn't known for his grammar.
Conscientious.
No. That word is fine. Does
All
anybody
the world.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you, Matt. Very good. Really, this should say in all of the world, because we can't have all the, doesn't all of the people. So this is very common. All the people in the room. We should say all of the people in the room. See, here's a very, very common mistake that native English speakers make all the time. All of the time. I just made it unconscientiously. Okay, it's very, very normal. Strictly, by strict grammatical rules, you need of there. But, again, super common to see it without of. Okay, so more dangerous than sincere ignorance. Sincere, truthful, real ignorance. Ignorance. Okay, here I have to say in English, just because you're language learners, I have to tell you quite sincerely and truthfully, many native speakers of English don't really understand the word ignorance. They really don't. They use it as a derogatory term, as a term to hurt someone else, to disparage them. But in fact, the word ignorance in English just simply means you don't know. And it is nothing to be ashamed of. I am completely ignorant about the fashion industry. There, I said it. So what? I am. I have no idea, you know, fashion terminology or what constitutes trending fashion, or I'm just completely ignorant. I just don't know. I haven't been exposed to it, and I don't know. So when Martin Luther King says sincere ignorance, he means honest, just not because they don't want to know, just they don't know when people don't know things. But what does he mean by conscientious stupidity? There's the sticking point. Nader, what do you think? Any ideas? Nader, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought that sincere ignorance means that when you are ignorant and you refuse to learn, not just you're ignorant. You're
Well,
very loyal to your ignorance.
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But looking at conscientious stupidity, that means you choose to be stupid. You consciously decide that you wish to not know. So maybe it does.
Maybe you are comfortable with your stupidity, so you don't need to move from your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. Which is definitely what this second collocation means. Definitely. So maybe you're right. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. I don't know. All of these quotes, any of these quotes are open to interpretation. So the idea that Nader maybe sees it as sincere ignorance, meaning also chosen ignorance, it could be right. Okay. Well, anyway, what do you think about this quote? Let's see. Carlos, do you agree with this quote?
About this one? Yes, yeah. Yes, I agree. Yes.
Do you think people in this world choose to be ignorant, or
no?
Voluntarily?
No, because you can improve the fact that you're an ignorant, and if you study and read and learn things. The second part of the quote, that is more complicated to
yeah, it is.
Describe.
Yeah, it is. So Yeah, it is complicated to describe. What does that
I
mean?
think he means that you know that you're an idiot. You're behaving like an idiot, doing really will be bad things generally, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Bad things. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Probably, because he implies danger. Probably bad things. Yeah. Okay, Alexander. Any thoughts about this quote?
I agree with the
Yeah,
quote,
you agree.
especially with consciousness stupidity. I agree. I think it means as one of the previous classmates said, when people don't know and they just don't want to learn.
Yeah.
And they think it's okay. I think that it is. Especially it's. I think it's also. I can say it about news that people see and believe everything that they see on TV, for instance, and news.
For instance, okay.
You read my mind.
Yeah. Mine too, Max. Yeah.
I would like to add something in this quote. And
Please.
or conscientious stupidity.
And
Not
or.
Only and. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, one or the other. Okay. Right, and maybe that would make it easier to understand, depending. Right. Yeah, it's an interesting quote. There's a lot of students today, so let me just throw it out to the group. Does anybody else have and we have a lot of good quotes, so anybody else have something to add to this one, or shall we move on? No? Okay, let's move on. Jabot, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
And read this quote?
Sure. The function of education is to teach one to think intensely and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. Martin Luther King Jr. Interesting. Yeah.
Well, what is your reaction to that quote?
Yeah, definitely. Because it reminds me that today's education it teach people to memorize so many things, but actually we don't use that kind of thing in our real life. And Martin Luther King just encourage people to think broadly, not just only remember things, but just to use in practice. And in that time, I think there were so many false beliefs, just like African Americans were treated as second-class citizens, and he think it was totally not true. So he want people to thinking, not only just reading the book, but just thinking and share out their appearance for people to know. But sometimes this kind of activities is a kind of very dangerous and risk-taking. Nobody dare to do that. So
how can it be? What do you mean it's dangerous? That's an interesting.
Because there's some oppression, I guess, in American government. So if someone shout out something, and especially he was black people, and black people have no civil rights there. And if someone shout out something, maybe they will get some trouble. So they pretend to be quiet and don't say anything.
He was just English, mind you. He was be careful of people in person. He was a black person. He wasn't a black people. He was a black person, right? Yeah, okay. It's one thing that's interesting that of course all you guys you know, you have your perception of the civil rights movement in the 60s and slaves in America and all that. I have to tell you, I'm from the state of Vermont. It was the 13 original colonies fought England. Vermont, within about, I think, 2 years, became a state. That's the state I'm from. In our state constitution, slavery was illegal, and everything to do with any kind of this was 1780. So it's not like all of the states in the United States had these outrageous laws. None of this or anything even remotely like it existed in my home state from its very inception. It was written into the Constitution of the state. I just misconception that many people have. I got the idea maybe, oh, all black people in America had laws against them and were treated very badly. Not everywhere. No, they weren't. That's why there was a civil war.
Okay.
Yeah.
But have you heard that in a state like Tennessee, I think, or another state, there is a law like nowadays, like that says that I think black people cannot marry with another race, something like that.
Really? No,
Yeah, I read somewhere on the internet, like.
I hadn't heard that.
And I was surprised, like.
I would actually not be shocked, Matt, because in the United States there are a lot of. This is interesting, actually. There are these. They're called blue laws. So I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case, because there are still existing laws, like, for example, in parts somewhere, I forget, also the Midwest somewhere, Ohio or Iowa or somewhere, it is illegal to eat ice cream on Sundays. Okay, and some other state, it is illegal to bring your donkey down the main street of the town, of the city. We have laws that are just never, because no one paid attention to them, they just sat around on the books for many years. There are tons of these laws in the United States. Nobody pays attention to them, of course, but there are lots of blue laws. So I would not be at all shocked to know that there are racist laws still on the books in the United States. They have laws about ice cream and donkeys. Just nobody bothers to take the time to fix them. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. Of course, the whole problem of civil rights and all that is obviously still ongoing, as we can see by recent problems in the United States with riots and so forth. I'm not trying to belittle the fact. I'm just trying to share with you that it's not so cut and dry, black and white, as nothing in life really is. Anyway. Okay, let's see. Ali, what do you think of this quote about education? Back to education.
Yes, I have a question
sure.
about the blue laws before we get to the education.
Sure, no problem.
You said in Ohio or that area, which is Iowa or something like that.
Yeah,
when
I don't
you
remember.
eat ice cream, they. It's kind of weird to me. It's my first time to hear that, really. And my question is, like, is this law still valid in the book of law?
Yeah, it's still that. I think it's like it's probably like a city or municipal law. I think. There's state laws like that, and then, United States, there's federal law, country law, and then there's a state law. Each state can make its own laws. And then there are even municipal or city laws. So when it comes down to municipal laws, there's all kinds of crazy, stupid things. A man can sleep with no more than 3 chickens in his bed. I don't know, just crazy, stupid things. Ridiculous.
I found a link. I found a link there.
I saw it, but I couldn't click on it in time. Can you
To
So,
putting salt on a railroad track might be punishable by death.
Okay. Great.
so
Good example.
I'm
I
sorry.
should do a class on blue laws in America. Really,
Yeah,
that'd
it
be
would be
fun.
very interesting.
I like
Would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be really funny.
Great. Thanks, you guys. Good idea. That's a great idea for a class. Okay. Anyway, Ali. Yeah.
I'm sorry for yeah. Like it was is the only thing that I want to know is, are these law valid? Like I'm gonna be punished if I do something like
No, they're completely ignored entirely. And
just like laws.
right. See, now here's the thing. Here's what you have to understand about American law. Once a law is made a law, it's a law. Once it's voted on by legislators and senators, this law is now a law forever, and it will never not be a law until the senators or the government decides to change the law. Now they they repeal the law. That's the verb. They can repeal the law, but they're never going to do that. They're never going to do that because it's not an issue. The only way such a silly law like salt on the railroad tracks would be actually ever changed is if a policeman actually tried to arrest you for putting salt on the railroad tracks, and he took you to jail, and you went to court, and then that court case went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, this is a stupid law, it doesn't match the Constitution of the United States, doesn't make sense, and then the Supreme Court can say a law is unconstitutional, and they can repeal a law. So, because everyone ignores it and no policeman is going to arrest you for eating ice cream or having chickens in your bed or leading a donkey down the street, it never gets challenged in the court system, so it just remains a law. So, that's one silly aspect to the way American law works. Basically, once you pass a law, it's very, very difficult or nearly impossible for it to become not a law. But everyone ignores it. No one cares. They're not even aware of it. Policemen aren't aware of it. Nobody's aware of it.
There are three funny from Vermont, your state.
What's that? Sorry, Ming, what was that?
There are some crazy laws in your state also.
I'm sure there are. Yeah, I'm sure every state. I'm totally sure. For the very reasons that I explained, because laws never get changed. There was a law in 1792. It's probably still a law. Yeah. Do you know any, Ming? Why do you bring that up? Oh, okay.
Yes, I have them here.
Carlos.
Women must obtain written permission from their husband to wear false teeth.
Well, I like that one, Carlos. That's a good one. Oh, that's a beauty. Oh, I absolutely have to have that link. Okay, that's a good one right there. Okay, anyway, Ali, I never really gave you your chance to talk about this quote regarding education.
Yeah, I think that he's right. He's totally right. Because like some schools, they have some education courses for students, and these courses are like these courses are not in like the student is not gonna get benefit from the course that he's taking. Like he's not gonna get a benefit for himself. Like the courses that they teach, it helps the school to be famous or I mean I didn't know how to how to like tell you exactly the idea that I have in my head, but I will think about it for a little bit and tell you the answer. Yeah.
Wow, you're describing critical thinking, actually. Just
yeah. I have something.
define
I have
critical
something
thinking.
I want to say in my mind, but I didn't know how to tell you that. But I need just like 2 minutes or 1 minute, or after we're gonna do this, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
hope that I can have the idea before we pass it. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Ming, hello Ming. Welcome to the class. Hi there.
Hi, Oakley.
Hi. Nice to have you aboard again. Ming, what is your view of this quote by Martin Luther King Jr. here?
The one about education?
Yeah. Are you for it?
I think it's true because one of my friends told me the same thing, and he said the purpose of college is to teach a person to think critically about his or her life. I'm not sure about anything before that, but definitely college is to teach us how to think critically, or maybe at least that's the goal of college.
Well,
but character, maybe
it should be.
Yeah, the characters, maybe not.
Or maybe it's ignored. Or should it be? Should be building character. Should that be a part of education? That's an interesting question. Any thoughts? Anybody? Open question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I agree with the first part, but I don't agree with the result. I don't think that the goal of education is to develop intelligence and character. Character is something you build yourself. And the intelligence, I don't think intelligence is the right term here. Maybe mind broadening, or because as we discussed before, I guess the aim of education is to broaden your mind, not to develop your intelligence.
Or maybe it should be. Hasn't anyone told you, Nader, that the goal of education is to get so you can get a good job and make a lot of money and contribute to the economy? You need to be a cog in the wheel of forward progress in the economy.
Maybe this is the right. This is the real goal.
Yeah.
What do you?
Go ahead, Max.
Education is like kindergarten, school, university.
Everything. Yes. Yeah, the whole nut. Yeah.
I mean, the right time for the right things. I mean, in the school you have to learn how to be intelligent and create your character, but much more later you have to learn how to think intensively and so on.
Right.
For example, when I was a child and learned at school, it was not interesting to learn about complicated math and physics, some kind of. Right. But now, when I'm 30 years old, it's more interesting for me to see how world works. I mean, it's
how the world works. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
When you're in kindergarten, the teacher teaches that you need to share your crayons. I mean, it's not thinking critically. That's really building character.
My daughter pulls me. I'll be back.
Okay. Funny. Okay. Anyway, all right. We could go on and on. Let's move on. Unless anybody has any last things to add about this education quote, or shall we move on? Okay. All right. Well, okay. There's a couple I want to get to. Well, these are all good. God, there's no losers here. They're all winners. Okay. Matt, can you read this next one?
In the end, In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the sounds of our friends.
What is he saying?
I don't know. He's trying to be smart.
Sorry?
He's trying to be smart. I don't know. It's kind of complicated.
Well, kind of. But,
the sounds of our friends. Okay, I understand the first part, but the second part, the sounds of our friends.
Okay. Well, your enemies are. Go ahead.
Yeah, when you're in need of the help of your friend, if your friend is not there, that is what he's saying.
Okay. Or if your friends are complicit. That's a good English word for you. Complicit in the fact that your enemies are bringing you down, or that your enemies are trying to somehow harm you or drag you down, and your friends do nothing. Like that. Yeah.
Okay, what do you think? Sincere ignorance?
Sincere ignorance?
Yes, silence of your friends.
Well, maybe related ideas. Good point. Yeah. Okay, well, that's a good point. Have you ever had this situation where, I don't know, like at work, you're fighting with the boss, and your coworkers who totally agree with you when they're talking to you at lunch, and then you confront your boss, and all your coworkers say nothing while you just face the boss alone. If you've ever experienced that.
No, in my case it was like I don't remember exactly what old I was, maybe 15 years old, and we were 4 friends. We went down the street, and one guy, I don't remember, and then I can't explain that, but in a result, this guy hit me and went away, and I was one. Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay. And your friends, what are you saying? And your friends didn't stick up for you, by the way, in English. Friends should stick up for each other. That means that they have your back. Whoops. Stick up for each other. Whoops. Didn't mean to put that in the middle of the sentence, but. Or are we saying in English, you have someone's back? So if they're taking abuse from somebody else, or they're in a fight with someone, you support them. If you don't, I don't know if you guys have ever been in that situation where your friends don't support you, where they support you, but then when you're actually having a problem with somebody else, an enemy or an adversary, and they just don't do anything, it hurts.
I think I would come with a different perspective. You should ask yourself, why do you have that problem? Maybe something is wrong with you, so you should change yourself. Did you catch my idea?
If you have an enemy?
Yep. That's your problem, because maybe in your so something you are doing wrong if you have that enemy. If you think very deeply about that, you will understand that there is a point.
I like it. And he says, if you think very deeply, you'll understand.
Well, what I mean that you don't understand because you maybe you didn't think about that, but if you like try to understand this idea,
I see.
That depends on you, like because sometimes you are doing, for example, okay, you know that in your city at after 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in some regions of city, they are kind of I don't know, alcoholics or unstable people, and you go there, but you know about that. So it depends on you.
Oh, okay, possibly.
Sure.
Yes, I guess sometimes when you're you're not doing your job correctly, and your boss becomes your enemy, and
right.
I guess.
So
sometimes, yes.
Right. So that could be true. You're absolutely right. That's a point. Maybe you're the problem. Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand your point. Okay, but let's follow it up with this other quote. Unless Ali, you were trying to say something.
I think he's trying to explain the significant relationship between like two friends or like two parts of people, and that I think he's trying to say that we have to stick up, like what you just said.
Mm-hmm. Right,
yeah.
Stick up for our friends. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe another point. If you have very best friend, he usually or she usually doesn't critique you. Some kind of, I don't know. But your enemy every time say you the truth, but you don't want to hear this.
Yeah, well.
True.
Well,
I think sometimes like you have there is a real enemy, and you didn't do anything to that person or something like that, but he just did something for you wrong, and I think your friend has to be with you. This is what I do think. If your friend has to see like what's the wrong with you and what's the wrong with the enemy, so he can decide whether he stick up with you or not.
I agree. See, look, even if my friend, as Matt said, I realize my friend is actually being the jerk here, I'm not going to just be silent. I'm going to say to my friend, come here, let me talk to you. Look, can you look at this another way? I'm going to talk to him about why I think maybe he's the one who's wrong. But I'm not going to say nothing and let him get beat down by somebody.
You're trying to help them as much as you can, but in a nice way.
Well, as nice as you can, But yeah, we can look at it in perspective of possibly related to the next quote. Maybe
I guess
later.
I guess we have a theme for like 4 quotes here. Like the ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and the cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people. This one is related to the first one.
Okay.
And we have another one, that whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I guess what he means by his friends is the good white people, because he's trying to get the support of people that is not that are good, but they have no interests in his case. Maybe they have sympathy, but they do not show it. So because it's very interesting when you see like a march for for black people's rights, and you see white people in this march. This is very, very interesting. Maybe sometimes when I see a white man, for example, in this march, I feel I respect him more than the leader of the march, because he has no interest and he's just going this for the principle itself. So he's trying to get more people, the more the merrier, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Probably looking at it from his perspective. Okay. Okay, let's look at this next quote. I really want to look at this because this is really a concept, but is it realistic or what? I don't know. Is it relevant to the modern day? Alexander, can you read this one for us, please?
Yeah. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Well, that's a tough one to wrap your head around.
Yeah,
so,
no idea.
What do you think of that? I read this and I don't have an answer, really. I don't have an answer, but the first thing that comes to my mind, because I'm an American, is how much everyone hates Americans because they're busy trying to be the world's police. Well,
I think
yes. Sometimes maybe with evil undertones of economic benefit and for other ulterior motives. I grant you that. I'm not saying Americans are angels, or for God's sakes, the American government is no angel, that's for sure. But sometimes I think sincerely American people have this quote in mind when they're thinking about trying to do better for other people. Maybe I'm way too idealistic, possibly. That's more than possible. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Shoot, Ali.
This is right. This is totally right. Like in my mind, what I do think is, in today's life, like I want like if you are if you are the one who has lots of money, I'll give an example to like a businessman who has lots of money. He does everything. He can does lots of problems, and he's not gonna be treated as a person who doesn't have money.
He's not going to be treated the same as a person who does not have money.
Yeah. This is what I do think. But if I talk in a political way, I think United States is, this is in my opinion, United States is a good country. I'll tell you where I'm from so you can... I'm from Saudi Arabia, and so I do think that United States is trying to stop lots of wars that's happening in our life.
Oh, Ali, connection problem, I think. I think we lost you. Buddy.
Censorship, that's censorship.
Oh, come on.
That's an unpopular idea.
Yeah, right. Very funny. Okay, okay. Let's open for the class. We don't have that much time. Anybody have a strong feeling about this or something you want to add or a comment about this? First of all, what is the veracity of it in itself? Is that true? Do you feel like injustice in South Korea affects you? Okay, the butterfly effect? I don't know. Does it? Or is that just idealistic nonsense?
I guess in a world that is very connected now, anything that happens anywhere may affect the whole world. You know, that's why when like a terrorist group appears in a place, all the world now is trying to stop it before it spreads.
Yeah.
Because now, yeah, I guess it is a related idea.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. All right. We ran out of steam on that one. I just want to point this one out because I like the last part of this quote. Carlos, can you do me a favor and read this one?
Yes. Chance does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle. And so we must strengthen our backs and work for our freedom. A man can't ride you unless your back is bent.
Yeah, obviously very much an analogy, not to be taken actually literally, but yeah, I kind of like that idea. Okay, what do you think of that, Carlos? Man can't ride you unless your back is bent. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like it. Oh, sorry. I didn't know it's Martin Luther King.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a few quotes that are very, very famous that I didn't know as well. He has so many great quotes here. I can't. Okay. I like this one too. Another favorite. Ming.
A genuine leader is not a searcher for a consensus, but a molder of consensus.
Okay. True?
Yeah.
True.
Because if you search for the consensus, then you are not leading but following. But if you're a molder, then you are the creator, the one who creates the trend that people follow.
Yes.
That means people are looking up to you to, yeah.
Right. Yeah, in English we have an expression, lead from behind. It's, I don't know, Obama, our current president in the United States, gets accused of leading from behind, being somebody who searches for consensus. I don't really get that, though, because he comes up with a lot of his own stuff all the time. It's just he gets shot down a lot. And if he's searching for consensus, he's not doing a very good job, because there's no consensus on anything in the United States. I don't know. Okay. Now this is an interesting quote about law. Last one I want to leave you with here. Law and order exist for the purpose of establishing justice. When they fail in this purpose, they become the dangerously structured dams that block the flow of social progress. Speaking of your blue laws again, going back to crazy laws. Well, I guess maybe I forgot about this, but maybe I was thinking about this. Do laws have to change periodically? Is that a reasonable assumption in any society or culture? There's a question I'd like to hear your input on. Jabot, do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think the law and orders should be changing according to the time period, because every society, as time passes, some kind of order will change. So I think it's probably to change and to create some consensus, yeah, for everybody, connect everybody appearance to make a new law.
Yeah, I think they have to change. Otherwise, you know, we might have the law: if you don't wipe your feet before you come in the cave, it's punishable by death. You will be roasted and eaten by the rest of the tribe. Well, yeah. Nader, any thoughts?
No, thank you. I just want want to mention that if you can make this blue laws a universal one, not only in the United States, may be more interesting. Because you will find very, very strange ones all over the world.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. On that note, I have run out of time. So, thank you very much. I've got to get going. I've got another class. So, bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.